hit these motherfuckers with some Dopey, dude.
I love that Dopey every day. I love to hear the next thing that Chris and Dave are gonna say. And yes, there's Dopey. I used to be a junkie, but now I have some hopey because of those dopes down at Dopey. Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
And I want to say that we're in this fancy hotel in the Lower East Side, but we have way more important business than that.
Well, we should describe the settings first. I mean, it doesn't have to be so heavy.
It's very heavy.
It's heavy. You just keep it light.
It's not light. It's very, very heavy. It should not be treated lightly. One of our listeners and friends, one of Chris's old... how long did you know him for?
Since 2011.
So Chris's friend since 2011. My friend for the last year died 2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago?
Something like that, yeah.
He overdosed.
And he was on the show.
He was on the show 3 times. The first time he was on, he recorded an hour and a half, his story, his whole life story, and Chris wound up erasing it.
By accident. It was also the only episode where Dave and I got in a fight
Big
on
fight.
air, yeah.
Big fight.
A legit, real fight, which is horrible that it got to... I feel bad for Dave because we literally pushed record, and right after we pushed record and did the intro, for some within minutes we started fighting, and I remember Dave sitting there, and Dave is this hulking, strong CrossFit owner, CrossFit trainer guy, and he was just sitting there, and his shoulders were slumped over, and his knees were close together, and he was hunched in like this while we argued with each other. And the reason I said in the beginning, keep it light, is that's to honor Dave, and it's I also intentionally tried to do that when we went out to eat after, was to make jokes and stuff, because that's the type of person Dave was, is he was funny, and that's why he liked Dopey.
Of course.
It's sad and it's horrible, of course, and it's I feel bad because I didn't really feel much at first, and I still don't. I don't feel really deeply over it. I think about it every once in a while, but it's mostly and I said this to you when we were by ourselves, it's mostly in a year I'll think of him, and then in 2 years, and then it's in 10 years, and I'll be more sad at those points because I'll realize he's been dead this whole time.
He didn't get that time.
He doesn't have that time, and he would have been doing some pretty cool stuff.
Well, you never know.
That's when it's sad.
You never know what anybody would do or wouldn't do, but the bottom line is that Dave didn't get the chance because of this. I totally get keeping it light, and that Dave was all about having fun and being funny and all that stuff. But we do a podcast on the lighter side of drug addiction, on the dark comedy of addiction tales, or whatever you want to fucking call it. And here we have one, he was a committed listener. He played Dopey in his gym every week. He made the people working out listen to it, and they laughed about the drug addiction, and now he's dead. So I'm not saying it shouldn't be light. I'm saying, everybody who's listening,
what we say with the reality of drug addiction.
We have such a good time making the show. I just think it's important. I think I got hit in the face with Dave's death.
Yeah.
And we make this comedy show about the funniest parts of using drugs and being an addict. And I like the funny parts of recovery too. I think they're super funny.
Yeah.
But I just want to make it clear that it's very, very easy to die getting high.
Yeah.
That we're both very lucky that we didn't die.
I pick up what you're saying. And I pick up what you're saying even if and I don't know if this is what I'm hearing, is sort of a concern about the show. And that's because, even at the funeral, we were going through the receiving line. I was a little nervous to see his dad and his mom. Not his dad so much because he'd communicated with you and me before. But I was I didn't know where, what they would think of me and what we do and stuff like that, And I also just felt bad. I felt we could have done more to help Dave, but you never. You can't beat yourself up over that.
Yeah, that's I'm not. I refuse. I refuse to beat myself up over that because he just. We don't even know how he died. We don't even know what happened. Do you know what happened?
I'm just assuming he overdosed 3 times in the last couple months. He's not the type of person who would kill himself, so chances are he overdosed.
Right. It's not there's very little anybody can do for somebody who's going to use.
You know what they were playing on classic rock the other day? Bush and REM. Like, this is classic rock now?
Classic. This is classic rock.
This is classic rock.
But Dave's dead, man. You're talking about Bush, and Dave's dead.
I'm redirecting.
Yeah.
So Dave's dead, man.
Dave's dead.
Some big knocks for Dave.
Listen, in terms of keeping it light, of course. I mean, I don't think we could do a heavy show, even if we tried to.
No.
It would be like classic rock. I don't think we could do it. But he fucking was like, I want Dopey to be bigger. You guys need a Facebook page. And me and Chris were like, we don't really know how to make a Facebook page. If you have a podcast, you need to have it on SoundCloud. So I went to Chris and I was like, dude, you got to put it on SoundCloud.
And I said, sure, I'll do it.
He said, and he said, listen, man, I'm not going to put it on SoundCloud if it's going to fuck with my RSS feed, you fucking asshole. And I'm like, just put
No, I think I said that first, and then I did what I always do with you, and I said, yeah, I'll do it, sure.
I was like, great. And then like Chris knows I'm going to forget about it or just not care. But it's so funny that we do it together that half of the show for me is like, can you believe we even have a show?
Yeah, that totally.
It's like, that's the whole show for me.
You know what was so funny? It just reminded me. I went on, and we'll wrap it up in a second. I went on a Tinder date like 4 or 5 months ago, right? And so she published this stuff on, it's called Effortless Perfection. And she's telling me all this stuff, and the first thing I say, I was like, is there such thing as like effortless mediocrity?
No, but we're like the opposite. We're trying. Yeah, I think we're like efforted. Mediocrity. Like we put a ton of effort in to achieve mediocrity.
But we don't even have done effort. We just talk about it. We don't. If we spent the time that we spend talking about Dopey, actually doing things for Dopey, this thing would be next level.
I've been doing so much stuff lately.
You haven't.
Yes, I have.
Talking about it so much more.
I got Omar on the show. I'm working on a big TV pitch.
Well, that's next episode. Let's do the TV pitch on the next episode.
All right. Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
And Toodles.
And write an email.
And Toodles.
It doesn't have to be about Toodles. Just write an email.
Toodles. Write an email and tell us if you like it when I say Toodles.
Everybody likes it, except me. I'm the one person that doesn't like it.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Hello and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. And I am Dave.
And I am Chris.
You are a jerk.
Why am I a jerk?
You just are.
Well, the jerk store called, and they're all out of you.
They're out of you, homie. They're all out of you. So what do you think, man? What's up? How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling my mojo. I'm wide awake. I'm ready to go. Dave took me through the back entrance of his restaurant tonight. I felt empowered.
Did you like it?
Oh, yeah, dude. I thought it was going to be much more extravagant. I thought I was going to get to see the Alpha Chips and Dominicans sleeping, but it was really just like a 15-foot deal.
Where on the world can you not get... You have to be in Ethiopia or something? Like, where could you be that there's no fucking water?
Yeah, I used puddles, too. There was no puddles.
What were you using puddles for? Can I have a glass of water? You go to McDonald's. Can I have a glass of water?
I used to use puddles, and it would be like, the puddle would be like brown water. This is in the Caribbean, and I'd like put some in my hand. I'd like hold the syringe.
It was just like to be hardcore or something.
I just hold this. It's not even hardcore. It didn't work. It was just a waste of drugs.
But what do you... I mean, but that's like some like...
I was paranoid.
You think it was paranoia?
Yeah, I didn't want to go in anywhere, and I wanted to do it quickly. It was paranoia and wanting to do it quickly. It was like a horrible combination.
Oh, it's priceless.
The worst one. This is the worst one. It's still, like, when I sit there, and if I really think back and remember this, it's probably the only thing that like, gives me, like, the heebie-jeebies still. I'm like, that is the grossest thing I've ever done. Like, just so disgusting. And I think I've talked about this on the show. Is not the same thing, shooting coke. I didn't have any water, and there was no puddles, and there was like somebody had a garbage can outside, and it had like garbage in it that was like wrapped up in like garbage bags, but it was still an old garbage can, and there was water at the bottom, and I drew up the water at the bottom of the garbage can, like an old, like where you'd like take it out and throw them in, you know, like from like nobody's ever washed.
You're probably like right next to like a hose. There's probably like a waterfall trickling down the mountain. You're like, nah, I want the garbage water. Now, did you cook it?
No.
So you use stagnant garbage water?
Yeah.
Did you taste the garbage?
No, but I did get sick. But I got sick after that run, but it was a bad run.
The idiocy.
I don't even know. I got a really bad when I was shooting the puddle water in the Caribbean. I got back from the Caribbean, and I started pissing blood. Right, like before I got back.
I'm surprised you didn't try to shoot the blood coming out of your fucking dick.
Dude, like while I was in the Caribbean, I was drinking a lot too, and so I was peeing just like straight blood. And I was drunk, and I was in this, I was in like a casino bathroom or something, and I thought it'd be, I thought it'd be funny. So there was a guy next to me, right? I pissed, and I like tapped him. I'm like, hey, and the guy was like, what the fuck? Okay. And I go point in the urinal. My bloody fucking piss. He was literally like, dude, you need to go to a hospital.
Did you know him?
No, dude, he's like, you need to go to the hospital right now.
We've been doing this podcast for a bit, and when Chris has a lot of tells, like on his face, like what's happening with him. He gets this look before he's gonna tell the worst story. It's like this look of shame plus like getting away with something. He looks down. Part of his mouth smiles. He gets kind of scared, and then, like, bam, he's at the urinal. Look at my bloody piss.
I used to have this thing where, like, I would just, like, make shit up, like, because I thought it would be better for some reason. So I came home, and I'm like, and I've just been drinking a lot, too. I've been shooting coke, but at this point, I was just, like, shit-faced. And I come home, and I pretended that the girl that I was dating, the Japanese girl, I'm not even going to say her name, like, so-and-so, I'm like, she's cheating on me. She wasn't even cheating on me.
What, so there's a story of why you're all fucked up? They can pity you?
I'm like, she's cheating on me.
Oh, that is funny.
And you know what? I got back together and stayed with her, and I never even
mentioned this.
Corrected that.
Your parents were. It's like they had no idea why you were with the whatever, the cheater,
cheating Japanese girl.
And I like it. It's like you're so down and out. She's not cheating on you. She's cheating on me. You know what I mean? It's like you drop the G when you're so down and out. She's cheating. She's cheating on me.
Oh, dude! I just remembered in Harvard Square once. We went out drinking with my friend. He had to end up going to the hospital. And we're on the red line in Harvard Square to go back. I lived in Back Bay. And we're waiting to get on the train. And my friend's like, we had to help him walk. He was really bad. And I go to get on the train, and this woman's like, oh my God. She's like, I'm calling an ambulance. She's like, your friend's like really bad. And I turn to him like, he's not. Like, he's fine. Like, I'm just going to take him home. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you don't need to call an ambulance. And I look over, and he's literally just convulsing and vomiting all over.
There's nothing to see here.
Like, he's fine. And then she called the ambulance, and he had to get his stomach pumped. And
when you turned around, you saw him.
No, I didn't know he was convulsing and vomiting. Yeah.
That's funny.
He was literally just sitting there like puking.
Dude, that's hysterical. There's nothing not funny about a 14-year-old kid convulsing and vomiting on themselves. There's just nothing not funny about it.
It's so funny too when I see like a 14-year-old now. It's like, oh my God! Like I was already like smoking weed daily, drinking on the weekends, doing meth, doing other things I could get my hands off, and like I see these babies, like baby faces.
I see Chris in an office with lots of books on the shelf, and Chris is sitting in one of these swivelly chairs, and you only see the top of his head, and then he turns around, and he's smoking one of these pipes, and he nods, and he smiles, and inside his head, nothing is happening. That's what I could just see him with that pipe and the grin, and just all sorts of dementia in his mind. But on the outside, he looks very like pipe smoking and surrounded by books and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. I do wonder that, Dave. Do people that don't know him well, like, what do they think when he gives that smile? Like, do they think, like, oh, this is just a nice young man with a presentable smile? Or we know it's, like, devious and full of shit.
Oh, my God. It's masterful.
Like, at what point does the public know that?
They don't, because Chris's greatest. It's like the devil's. What's the thing about the devil? The devil's greatest trick is telling the world that he doesn't exist. And Chris's greatest trick is like he just wants to like you and never see you again. And then he goes, "Oh, that guy was a really nice guy." That's Chris. Yeah.
Let's just wrap this shit up.
No, it's important.
Drop us a review on iTunes.
I want you to write Vice. I want you to write Sirius XM.
Are we barking commands? Are we commanding the Dopey Nation?
Dopey Nation. Write Vice.
Yeah.
Write Sirius XM. Tell them you want Dopey on your dial. Why couldn't we be on the Howard Stern channel?
I don't know. Probably because we're extremely disorganized and we're just two rambling idiots.
All right, Dopey Nation, stay strong.
And Toodles. And we're live.
Good morning. And welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. And I'm Dave.
My name is Chris. And you know what Dave just said? He said, good morning.
This is the first ever Dopey episode in the morning, which is
It's
weird.
It's 7:35 in the morning.
It's weird.
It's insane.
We are on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
What's the earliest we've ever recorded? Like 6 p.m.
No, I think like 4. I think when you went to see The Secret Life of Pets and needed to come home to poop, it was like 4. I worked till 4, and you were at my apartment.
There was a bunch of miners. I forget what they were mining, and they were like down underground, and they hit some pocket, and like this gas came out, and they all inhaled it, and they're like, get the fuck out of there, and they all left. And that night, they all went drinking at the bar. And at the bar, everybody started puking. And they're like, what the fuck? And then they investigated, and it was a pocket of, like, naturally occurring disulfur gas.
But the real question with that story is, like, you have a bunch of miners, okay, mining for, let's say, coal, probably in Virginia or West Virginia. I want to say
rubber. Do you mine for rubber?
No, you don't mine for. Do you mine? I think I don't know. How do you get rubber?
Maybe some part of rubber.
You do not mine for rubber. Rubber either comes from a rubber plant, a rubber tree, or it's made.
A rubber tree.
Isn't there a rubber tree?
I don't know.
I think there is.
I think it's from monkeys. There's rubber monkeys.
There's no rubber monkeys. Dopey Nation, if you know the origins of rubber, could you please tell us? I think it comes from a plant. You don't mine rubber.
Rubber plant?
Yeah. You don't know that song, High Hopes?
There's a bunch of farmers, and you're like, what are you farming? I'm farming for rubber.
Yeah, we're farming rubber. I don't know. Can you do anything?
I can't do anything.
Can't you just do something?
I can say wicked sometimes.
You don't say it nearly enough.
It only comes out occasionally. So
let me ask you. Let me just ask you a really quick question. If you're ever out late at night, okay, in the country, with some people from Massachusetts, do you ever say, "It's wicked dark out here"?
I don't.
You never say that?
I don't. It only comes out.
Could you do me a favor?
No.
Next time you're in the country with your lady friend or some people, and you notice that there's no light, could you say, "It's wicked dark out here"?
I'll say it and I'll record it and we'll put it on Dopey.
Can I just say something really funny, or that I think is really funny? Right? We have however many downloads we have. We get emails all the time. You know, people like or this or that, whatever. But still, sometimes when I read an email or a review, it strikes me as incredibly weird that they actually listen to us.
It's not sometimes, it's always for me.
Like, can you imagine?
I'm literally in a state of perpetual awe and shock that there are people out there willing to listen to stuff that comes out of my mouth.
No, can you?
You, I get. I get, because you're an interesting fellow.
Can you imagine?
You like to put on a good show.
Can you imagine? I cannot imagine, like, we got an email from some dude in the doggy daycare, and he just hangs out listening to Dopey. Can you imagine this doggy daycare that they're playing Dopey in? Or how about CrossFit Payback? Can you imagine going into that gym and hearing us?
It's pretty wild.
It's just weird.
It's very weird.
Very, very strange.
It's very strange.
Do you like buns?
I like buns.
Fucking write a review just about the use of the word buns. Maybe the younger generation, younger than you, doesn't have the time to say bundle. Yeah. So they say bun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's gotten fast-paced out there.
No shit. Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
And Toodles.
Wait. Rob, that was an amazing email, though.
Yes, amazing email. Thank you, fellas. Goodbye. Toodles.
Don't say Toodles.
And we're live.
Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. I'm Dave.
My name is Chris.
How are you feeling, Chris?
I'm good. I'm ready to rip. I'm ready to go.
You ready to rock?
Ready to rock.
So what's up with you?
I think you need to start with the Jamie Lee Curtis story before we forget.
Why would I forget? It's like the greatest
You
thing that ever
forgot
happened.
the last episode.
All right. I didn't forget. I just didn't know where to put it in.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to hear about your life and stuff.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're pushing. I see that Chris's eyes are going to that scary place. So I'll just... Dopey Nation is a pretty funny story, interesting story. I'm working at work, where I like to work.
And Jamie Lee Curtis was supposed to be on the show, and then she canceled.
You ruined the whole story. Why did you do that?
Go, though. Tell the story.
Why would you ruin the story? Why do you think that makes it a better story?
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I never should have told you the
Well,
story.
the spoiler alert would come before the spoil, wouldn't it? Don't you say spoiler alert and then you would say?
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
So you just ruined the whole show.
Yeah.
Another episode down the tubes. But everyone at where I work, they cannot say the word maitre d'. They say major D. I'm like, dumbass, it's not a fucking major D. It's a maitre d'. You acted like you didn't care.
I was like,
but inside you were dying.
I was not. I was okay with it. I was mostly just upset that I had told my mother that she was going to be on.
Dude, it's because you don't care about anything.
What do you mean? I care about something.
What?
I care about someone.
You care about one thing for now, until you decide not to care anymore.
That's
you
not
care
true.
about one
I care
thing.
about a lot of things.
Okay, name 3 things you care about.
I care about Blackie. It's my cat.
You have a cat?
Yeah,
in your
Blackie.
apartment?
No, it's in my parents' house.
You don't care.
I care about my family. I care about God, my recovery. I care about you, Dave.
You don't care about me.
I care about you.
You do not
I
care.
genuinely do.
You don't care about me. But that's why when you said your life sucks, when I was on the train, I was like, well, I get to go to Manhattan, and I get to be around a ton of shit, and then I get to go back to be with my family, which is nice.
You just couldn't. If you found an equal paying job down the street from you, it would be bad for you.
Yeah, it would just be fucko city. You know, how many fuckos can you be around all the time?
You're one of those fuckos now, by the way.
No. Somebody write a review that I'm the evil genius behind Dopey again. That saved my fucking week that week.
Yeah, you really like that one.
Yeah, now it's gone. Oh well. Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation, and Toodles. Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. My name is Dave.
No, it's not.
My name is Chris.
Yes.
You want to start it? You start it.
No, that was great.
No, start it, though. Let's just have 2 starts.
No, I'm not going to do a second start.
Okay, before we get started, Dave has a lot to do. I just have to bring something up. In our last recording,
yes,
Dave says, just with utmost bravado and confidence, read the newest iTunes review.
Yes.
And so we read the newest iTunes review, and it turns out the one that he thought that was on there, that referred to him as the evil genius behind Dopey, was removed. It was deleted. And it was replaced by a different iTunes review that exclusively bashed Dave.
Yes. This happened. It's true.
This is God testing Dave.
Listen, what the
Dopey
fuck?
wouldn't be in existence. If we got this review a year ago, Dopey would be over.
What the fuck am I going to do about this kind of thing? I just do my best. And I'm happy with my interruptions. If we just had a show of you and your incredible stories and everybody that you love, where would we be? Where would we be?
Yeah.
I have no problem interrupting you when necessary. And I'll even say that you know what? I don't ever think I interrupted you too much. I don't give a fuck. In those first few episodes where you got to put the phone away.
That's right, yeah.
In the first few episodes where it's not away.
I think that
it's on in your lap. You're taking texts and shit.
Okay, this is what I think. I think in the early episodes you interrupted, but I think your interruptions are better now.
And I think, to be honest, my interruptions I think it was funny to be a dick. Everybody that loves Chris so much, listen, I think the show is better because Chris is on it. He is great on the show. His stuff is great, but I know that if Chris did it with somebody else,
it would be horrible.
I don't think it would be horrible, but it wouldn't be this show.
It would be over. No, there's nobody out there I could do the show with. Honestly. Do you have anybody? You could probably, because you can put a show on with anybody. That's the difference between you and me.
The point is, Dopey works because it is the two of us. Dopey Nation, you can have your feelings about me, but I love each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Especially you, Angel Eyes, fuckhead. Chris on Dopey is somehow irresistible and adorable.
Not in real life.
I don't know. You do all right.
Do I?
No, I guess not. Are you still too much of a pussy to ask the girl out, was the phrase.
I will always be too much of a pussy to ask.
But that's also why you're so irresistible, which is very sweet. The fucked up thing about the glitch is that Chris and I bow before the graph of Dopey downloads every day.
So honestly, the only reason I don't want to say the only reason, but there's a very good chance Dopey wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for this chart. Because Dave and I get to look at this chart every day or every few days, and we get to see that we're slowly growing. You know, and it's been growing for a year and a half almost now.
Slowly.
And it keeps us going slowly. I would say if that chart was not growing at all, or if it was staying, I think there's a good chance we might stop.
I wouldn't give up. I don't give up.
You're saying that, but you would.
The only way I would
You'd do it for years?
If you showed up, listen, if you guys think that I interrupt too much,
You're still stuck on this?
I just want to use this as my parting shot. Tell me, what the fuck am I going to do about it? Honestly. I just do my best over here. So Dopey Nation, stay strong. You don't think that's a strong ending?
I think it's a good ending. It's beautiful.
That's your ending?
Toodles is my ending. You know that.
Imagine being on an airplane and having somebody... Imagine you're in front of somebody and they say, I love it when Chris says Toodles. What would happen to you? You'd burst into flames or something.
I would lean forward and say Toodles.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
No way. You would... everything would hit you at once. You'd be feeling godlike and pathetic, and you'd want to say something, and you would say Toodles? You would sit back.
I would say I have something for you.
You'd squirm a Dopey card in between them.
And wrap it up. Good night.
Dopey Nation.
Stay strong.
Above all else, stay strong. And if you're on the fence, do what you can do for yourself, because we love you, and we want you to be well.
All right, Toodles.
You don't want them to be well?
I do. Be well.
Be well.
And Toodles.
Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. And I'm Dave.
My name is Chris.
My name is Chris. My name is Chris.
I couldn't help but listening to this and just thinking we got to step up our game for our website and everything. First of all, I think our website could be tweaked. But we need to put.
You think our website could be tweaked?
We need to put all your fucking songs on there. We need to have its own thing, and not in the blog. Have our own thing with your songs, and then all the fucking covers. I'm just thinking all the creativity your songs have led to. There's been 3 or 4 covers of Good So Bad. We've got John's Methadone. We've got Cormac's songs. We've had people send us original content.
It makes me think of something, by the way.
We should be putting that shit up on there.
Idea.
And we should be putting the emails up. I like to write. I should be writing more for the website. And if we fucking did that, that's the way to get this out here,
Definitely. Number
We're
one.
So lazy, though. We're just going to talk about it on the podcast and do nothing.
What do you mean we?
And literally, I don't have a Dopey shirt. Dave wants a Dopey hoodie. Our own gear, and we're like, saving up for that Dopey.
It's true.
We can't even buy it ourselves. Did I tell you I got a guitar?
No.
At my place?
No.
Yeah. I've been practicing to this one Fish song.
Here we go.
It's just this one Fish song I always try to play. So I got a new apartment, Dopey Nation, and I got a guitar, and I've been practicing. So tell me what you think of this.
This reminds me of an old episode of Dopey. Can you play any chords?
That's the only thing I can
Can you play any chords?
I tried. I don't have a guitar. I made all that up just so you play Twinkle Twinkle.
What's the time? What's the time?
Sorry about that as an accident.
What's the time?
56.
There was something else I wanted to say. You know why this was classic Dopey?
Why?
Zero structure, thing to thing, weird, bullshit, reading books, whatever.
Let us know what you think, guys.
Just listen, do me a favor. If you're going to write a review, just don't say anything mean about me. Can you just do that? Is that too much to ask? Just don't write anything bad. You can write all the stuff you like about Chris. Just leave me alone.
All right.
Leave me alone.
And with that, we'll sign off. Toodles. You want to do a verse of Forever in Debt?
No.
No?
You want me to close it with Forever in Debt?
Just one more, and then we'll do Good So Bad after.
No, why don't we just close it with this?
All right, close it.
One.
Just one verse. I don't want to do the whole thing. All right. Toodles. Say goodbye.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
Stay strong.
Stay strong. Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. And I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
And we were just listening to a voicemail.
Well, tell them where we are. We're at Dave's childhood home.
You're at the ancestral home.
Where you used to throw shit off the roof.
No, out the window. Out the window.
You said off the roof, too.
You know, it's funny. You can say roof correctly, but you can't say room correctly. I'm surprised you didn't say roof. Do you ever? You never said roof?
Roof.
So what if there was a room on the roof?
Room on the roof.
A room on the roof. Room on the roof.
What's the weirdest thing you ever threw out the window here? Dave's on the 21st floor. His childhood.
Weirdest thing I threw out the window would probably be the Emperor's Royal Guard action figure from Return of the Jedi, stringed up to a shopping bag as a parachuter. Okay?
Did it work?
It worked.
Yeah.
It hit a tree.
Yeah.
One of these trees. And when I tell you it was in that tree for 10 years, maybe even 15, I'm not exaggerating.
That's wild.
All my friends would come over and just, we'd laugh because we did it together.
See, I'm shocked you never threw shit at people, because that was my stuff.
They would die, Chris.
I spent a summer on Central Park South at the Essex House. I got so obsessed with throwing shit out the window, my brother had to physically restrain me. And I remember he held me down, and I was just throwing everything off the room service cart, and I grabbed this muffin, and he's holding me down, and I literally just chuck it out the window. I got obsessed with throwing shit out the window. I threw an Oreo out the window once, and there was one of those double-decker buses that had the open top.
Oh, yeah.
And it literally curved like a frisbee and landed in the center aisle and shattered. And it was I could hear it. I remember I could hear it hit, and everybody looked up, and I was just at the window. I couldn't do anything.
Did you wave?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
What about this? Let's say somebody's on the top of the double-decker bus.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there. Here's two things I want to talk about. They're sitting there, and you throw the Oreo, and they're yawning. And the Oreo goes into their mouth.
That'll kill them.
And it hits their throat, and they die. Imagine this. You're on the thing, and you're yawning, but you finish your yawn, you're closing your mouth, and the double stuffed Oreo lands perfectly in your mouth.
As I'm finishing.
And then you're and you have an Oreo in your mouth, and you don't know how it got there.
You don't know where it came from.
Imagine that.
That's like Superman catching the bullet between his teeth.
But it's an Oreo. A bullet doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, something happened that I didn't tell you about.
Yeah. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, no. Who am I talking to? Who's here? I'm talking to you. Lots of stuff is happening, Dopey Nation. Lots of stuff, good and bad. Do you want to talk about the bad stuff or the good stuff?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Well, I have a whole list.
Well, what's the bad stuff?
Well, it's what happened to you
in my life.
Yeah,
we can do that. So I saw this person on and off for the last 5 months or something like that, and I've referred to her abstractly on the show. It's over now, and I'm not going to reach out to her again. And it was just it was fucking really hard. Dave's been instrumental and has helped me so much, because I've just been utterly depressed, and I would talk to my sponsor or other people like that, and I'd sort of tell them what happened. But the reality is there's only so much someone can say, and you've been so helpful in my life, because you text me and you're like, how you doing and stuff, and I'm just I'm depressed. But there isn't any nugget of wisdom to drop, it's just sort of hanging out with that until it goes away. And I'm extremely happy to be here, to be doing Dopey, because it's fun, you know what I mean? And I look forward to it, and it's so light, and I immediately forget about everything else that's going on in my life. I think it's the first time ever in my sobriety, for sure, that I ever felt really rejected, and I felt I think you put it pretty good. It's just I felt like it was not good enough. It was fucking hard, and I thought about drinking. I was I lived right across the street from a liquor store, and I was there's booze right there. Because because I didn't want to feel the way I felt. You know what I mean? Like that's why I used so much. Is like I didn't want to feel. I wanted to run from shit.
You were like, I'm not going to open myself up to this. You know what I mean? You like kept people at bay. You would reject. You would slash. You would burn. You would run. And this one, you knew you could show that side, and she wasn't going to be interested. You were safe that you still weren't going to get to be that.
But why would I do that? It's so fucking hurtful.
I don't know. I'm just a waiter. I don't know. Helga was she was a very
you would
driven.
say very disparaging things about her, and I would always defend her.
I only said disparaging things because you were in a lot of pain, and I love you. I don't want to see you in pain.
Yeah,
and like it's okay. You know, it's okay. Number one, everybody gets rejected. Sorry, Dopey Nation. It happens to everybody. Chris is very handsome and smart and everything, and he doesn't get rejected. You haven't gotten rejected in a million years, and rejection is painful, but like to feel
it's extremely painful. It's like I can't believe this. Like it really,
and it rots your brain like really, a bug.
Oh my god!
Like there's a bug in your brain, and it's eating you. And then you go to sleep, and you're like, it's like having the hiccups. You're like, maybe I don't have the hiccups anymore.
Yeah, but it's getting. You know, how I know it's better is I started taking Benadryl for a few nights. I wasn't eating as much. I started night eating again. And the night eating is a very good indication that
you're back on track, back on a good foot. Right.
Yeah.
Chris was really interested in Helga. Helga was interested in the fact that Chris had a podcast. She didn't like Dopey. And you're thinking, maybe she'll like me if I give her a good idea for a podcast.
No, I was just talking to her. I was like, maybe she'll like me if I talk to her. And then she ran away with the podcast thing. She got wicked excited about it. And I do think both of those are actually genuinely really good ideas.
Pitch me. What are the ideas exactly?
You grab a homeless person and you have them tell your story. You know.
And where did you come up with this idea?
From Dopey, because Dopey, we have addicts tell their stories. I was like, we need to get there needs to be a network where it's like cult stories, jail stories, and homeless stories. It's great, dude. That's like the same podcast network with all those different things. I think it'd be wonderful. But anyway, so she really liked that, and she's
what would the network be called? Fringe Network?
There probably already is a Fringe Network.
SMI?
No, it'd have to be Dopey, because, we're the flagship. It would have to be the
Dopey Network?
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
The flagship.
So Chris and Helga go to Frank, the local homeless man in Boston.
So I would talk to, on my way home, he's at one of the stoplights. And I'd been talking to him for months. He was sober 8 years, and I'd always chop it up with him for like a minute or two on the way home.
And you decided that he would be the greatest guest.
The inaugural guest.
For this podcast.
Yes.
So Chris doesn't have anywhere to take him. So he takes him to his parents' house. It's Chris, Helga, and the homeless guy, Frank.
And the homeless guy's girlfriend.
So he brings...
to my parents' house, which was incredibly stupid. Dopey Nation, they live in a hotel with doorman and valet parking.
But he's doing this to impress...
Boston Harbor.
He's doing all of this to impress Helga.
I think she'd already been... No, she hadn't been yet.
No. You did all...
I didn't bring her to the house to impress her. I said nowhere to do it.
Fine. No, what impresses her is that you're such a man of the people. You're going to bring the homeless guy and his girlfriend to your parents' house. Yeah. And did you gave them food?
Yeah, I gave him $100 too.
You gave him $100?
Whatever, man. I didn't ask for it.
Did you earn that $100?
Yeah, from blood, sweat, and tears, man.
So you have him at your parents' house. You give him your parents' money. Yeah. You record. How much? It was
like an hour. He tells us a story. It was good. It was decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then Chris calls me, and he tells me.
Oh, you were pissed.
He tells me he's done a podcast with this girl about homelessness, and I lost my mind.
You got pissed.
I was so angry.
Oh yeah,
like because he's launching a podcast without me, and I didn't understand how shallow Chris was, and that he was just using this as a tool to get the girl. I was devastated. Then Chris runs into Frank again.
Oh my god, that was the worst. Not again.
Wait.
Day.
Chris walks right to Frank. Frank's like, hey man, how's Lonely Space?
Yeah, when's it coming out?
Chris is like,
and the worst is I'm like, soon.
Chris is like, I think it's dynamite, Frank. Yeah. This podcast has legs, and I know podcasts. He's like, great, Chris.
Every day I'm like, it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
And weeks and weeks and weeks pass, and then
months
and months, and
it's still going. It's still I see him still.
And then Frank has finally gotten in his head that Lonely Space is not happening, but he's like, do you think I could just get the recording? And then I hear Frank, you think I could get the recording? And Chris goes, well, flash drives are very expensive. They're like $1 in the store. And then what Chris is really saying is, you don't have a computer, Frank. How are you ever going to play your recording? Why don't you just talk to yourself and you can hear your story?
You don't know how many things I thought of before, like the last time. I was like, maybe YouTube.
We're laughing at Frank's life because he's homeless.
It's so bad, dude. Well, he makes more money than I get from my parents.
That's fascinating.
My God.
This is very insensitive to the homeless world.
No, Fitzy's awesome.
No, I mean everything I've said. It's been very, very insensitive.
No, we know where it's coming from. We know your heart's in a good place. And you're going to eat cookies. No eating on the show.
Okay.
You have 15 minutes. You're eating a cookie.
You're reading the ad.
Those are the crunchiest cookies there
I'm not going to talk.
Cookie. It's a
wafer.
waffle weighting.
It's a
waffleton.
It's a waffleetten. There was something else I wanted to say. Besides Stay Strong, Dopey Nation.
And Toodles?
Besides that.
We got other shit for later. We'll do that other stuff later.
What about Shane Raymer?
Nah, next one.
All right. Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
Dopey Nation. Toodles.
Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about addiction and drugs and dumb shit and recovery. And Chris. It's all about Chris.
Yeah. You've been getting a lot of praise recently.
That's because I was like begging for it.
Yeah, but people have been bashing me. Even Scott, dude.
I think Scott did. I don't know why he's doing that.
I always thought Scott was Camp Chris, and he turned his back on me. It's Camp Dave now.
I think it's called Camp David.
Camp David?
Yeah. That's a place where presidents go, Camp David.
Oh, yeah, in Texas?
I think it's in Maine. Is it in Texas?
I don't know. I just remember Bush used to go to Texas a lot. I know nothing. I know less than nothing about politics.
Oh, I wish we could play that game that I didn't invent. The game which is, do you know less than Chris?
For the Dopey Nation that's tuning in for the first time or recently, I am popular culture, politicians, art.
You're basic information deficient. Do you know less than Chris? I'm going to mention somebody and you're going to tell me what they're famous for. Herbert Hoover.
I invented the vacuum.
No.
Let's do something else.
All right, I got nothing else.
Tell me about the disgusting thing.
Stay strong, Dopey Nation.
Toodles.
This morning, I'm on the train watching Game of Thrones, and I cough up a disgusting loogie.
You spit it on the train, didn't you?
No, I didn't spit it on the train. I didn't have my sock, my sneezing sock. So I remember I had an envelope from work. So I rip open the edge of the envelope and I open it up. And I spit the loogie into my work.
Was it direct deposit, so you didn't need the check?
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And then
did you save the envelope?
I have it right here.
That's disgusting, though.
What do you do if you cough up some mucus in the train?
I don't ride the train.
You're in a hermetically sealed
I'm not some
car.
Common man that rides.
What was the other thing that Leah said? I was just reminded of about I can't remember.
What, Toodles?
No, not about Toodles. Why is everything to you is Toodles? Why?
Dude, the Dopey Nation loves Toodles.
The Dopey Nation loves Toodles.
Yeah? What's wrong?
You just, listen, you fucking kick me in the stomach, and
For
then
what?
you call to your IV Coke tribe to come and lift you up on their shoulders. King Chris, Camp Chris, we shoot Coke, you're the man, we love Coke, yeah.
You want to know something? I don't know if I shared this with you.
And the way every day I'm depressed, Dave, make me feel, and you say, I don't want to hear you talk. It's like, you're a real kind of,
How about this?
Some kind of jerk off.
How about this?
Some kind of jerk off, you are.
How about this?
I want you to get control of yourself, and I just want you to apologize.
You don't like it when I get riled up. I'm sorry. You know what? Dave has been instrumental in my personal.
What about 5 compliments?
You good shit.
5 compliments per
I'm
episode.
telling you, this is a compliment right now.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Enough. Stay strong, Dopey Nation. Write a review.
Is that it?
Yeah, we're
Follow us
done.
on what?
On everything.
All right, stay strong, Dopey Nation, and Toodles. Anything else?
No. Stay strong, Dopey Nation. Hello, and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. What was that?
I don't know.
And I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
How are you?
I had nothing to talk about.
You got nothing to talk about?
Absolutely.
That's what you're going to start with?
Yeah, well, before we hit record, I told Dave, I was like, we need something to talk. We usually have something, and we got nothing. Shooting from the hip blind. The last, week or two, I haven't been eating as much, but I've been eating a lot of sugar. Stop making that so fucking loud.
Just keep talking. I want to
No,
get this out
they
of our
can
face.
hear it.
Who can hear it?
The Dopey Nation. You can't make so much noise. Dude, that's it.
I'm
ending the show. Ending the show.
Look at you. Look at you. You're so fucking angry.
I'm angry.
For what?
I'm angry because you're going to drag this out and just make it worse.
Listen, you're an asshole. You've been an asshole for 2 hours. I don't know why. And
Dopey Nation. If I've been an asshole, email us and let us know, because all we've been doing for 2 hours is doing Dopey. So they can tell us.
They do not have the psychic antennae that I have.
Dane is just power-hungry mongrel.
See,
Unless he's in absolute control, he gets very threatened.
All right, you stay strong, Dopey Nation. Was that so horrible? Was that such a big deal?
It was pretty bad. And with that, we'll say Toodles.
You have problems. I'll say you have problems. Hello and welcome to Dopey, the podcast about drugs, addiction, and dumb shit. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. I'm ready to record. I want to do a good show.
That's nice. Yeah. How come you never ask me how I'm doing? I always ask you how you're doing, and you always say, I'm good, I'm this, I want to do a show, me.
It's true, on the show I don't. But I ask you in real life.
Dopey Nation, I want to say this. I feel great in general. My life is so much better than it was before. It's amazing. And I owe it all to Dopey. No, I think my life is so much better than it's been in a long time. And I'm incredibly grateful to be...
and you got things popping. But you can't lose sight of the fact that it's the journey, not the destination.
I haven't gotten anywhere.
I know.
I'm a fucking broke-ass waiter idiot.
Yeah.
With a broke-down podcast, some projects that aren't working. I live in a shitty apartment by the railroad tracks. What I'm trying to say is it's something I never talk about on Dopey is, and I don't need to go crazy into it. It's just how much I enjoy my life, number one. How much I enjoy being a father, it's so fun, such a good deal.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And I totally owe it all to sobriety. Yeah. I owe the whole thing to sobriety. And it's really, 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 really good.
Likewise.
Well, what the hell keeps you going? You got nothing. Well, the idea is Chris, he's been sober for 3 years.
3.5.
Almost 3.5.
Yeah.
And he, he's in school. He's getting his life together, and I kind of see it like you're a plane on the runway, checking your shit, your gear's all good to go, so that you can take off. Yeah. And the women that Chris is after have been flying across the country or across the world, and he's trying to have something in common with them, when the chicks he should be going after are in the airport still, or sitting in the back of the plane looking what's on the fucking TV screen saying, what does this dial do? And you can be we're getting ready to take off right now if you look out the window.
What's the in-flight movie?
Exactly. Somebody where you have something in common with instead of how are you flying over there? That must be really fast. I like to sit here and look at the runway. That makes me happy. And then you totally have nothing to say to the woman, and she's like, I think there's something wrong with you.
That's not true. I have.
She's like, I think you're really funny, and I think you're gonna do really good things one day. But I'm looking for somebody who's like flying, who's not like sitting in the airport picking his nose.
It's not true that I have nothing to say. I have like a solid 2 weeks of fucking great material. Like,
bullshit. Chris's material is this. He's like, I really don't like to study. I do really well in my tests, and you know what I did to study? I ate 6 bowls of ice cream and watched 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. Then I took a nap. Are you turned on? And they're like, oh my god. They're just like,
well, it's stupid because I take like a bravado in that too.
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm like, why do I even tell anybody that?
You should have seen it. Me and Chris are fucking downstairs buying Mexican food. And he says to me, I'm going to get dinner tonight. He says, I'm going to get dinner tonight with the rest of the Dopey money. And I said, what the rest of the Dopey money? Where's the money, Chris? Where's the money? And he was like, well, I spent most of it on Hannah's tattoo, and, gas costs money. And I realized we don't have any Dopey money.
We have no Dopey money.
You know?
Yeah.
We forgot to do everything.
Right? What did we get on our list? Honestly, tell us how much we got.
Well, we did the theme song.
We're so bad at this.
We did. Oh, we didn't even mention that we're on in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
We're on the WLCR Pirate Radio in Cleveland. You'd think that was a big deal.
87.9, 4 days a week at 11 p.m.
I think it's
Dopey
3
podcast.
days a week.
No, 4. He's
really?
playing it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
What is he going to do when he runs out? You know what Andrew said?
Start again at the beginning.
Andrew said, he goes, you need to make more episodes. He's going to run out. I said, I don't care, Andrew. I said, if we're not going to make more episodes for us, we're going to make them for the pirate radio station.
The best is he was like asking us to do it, and you responded to him, and you're like, you have our blessing as long as we don't have to do anything.
Well, that was your line. Anyway, stay strong, Dopey Nation.
Stay strong in Toodles.
Well, this girl of mine, she's done some time. I don't mind, it suits me fine, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And on the other day, I caught a ray of light. These sunny days, they have a way with me. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And when the rain stops falling, there's not a drop on me. Oh, and it felt so right to rise up from the night. We might have had a fight, but that's not on my mind. Well, tonight can be a very good night. And when the rain stops falling, there's not a drop on me. The other day I saw you alone. I got excited, so I picked up the phone. Oh yeah. You better not sleep. The other day I tried to pretend I got excited, never thought you really were my friend. You better not sleep, 'cause when the rain starts falling down, I said the